Good morning, guys. It is 5:30 in the morning. My name is Sean Hiller, and welcome to my day in the life of a functional physical therapist. It is, like I said, 5:30 in the morning. It's bright and early. I'm eating a banana. We're about to go work out in a second. So I'm going to get my head straight. We're going to go work out. I'll see you in a second. Hey guys, welcome to the day in the life of a functional fitness PT. My name is Dr. Sean Hiller. I'm the owner of Vulcan Performance Rehab and Recovery. I'm a strength conditioning coach. I'm a running coach. I'm an Olympic lifting coach. I'm a fitness coach. Most importantly, I am a doctor of physical therapy. Now I'm going to show you guys what it's like to be a functional fitness PT today. 3 questions you may have is, what is a functional fitness PT? Well, as a functional fitness PT, what we do is we take areas of the body that may be hurt or injured, and we incorporate them into the rest of the body. We don't just see a shoulder, we don't just see a knee, we see a whole body, and now the shoulder and knee are hurting, so let's do something with the whole body to fix it. So a good example is someone comes in with a shoulder issue. Some very viable treatment that we may do for that shoulder issue is front squats, overhead squats, something that takes that shoulder and meshes it with the rest of the body so that the body can relearn and incorporate itself as a whole. That's a lot of what we do as a functional fitness PT. There's more to it, and we'll get into that. Second question is, why am I wearing a hat at 5:30 in the morning? Well, I have some really nasty bedhead, and I didn't want to expose you guys to that, so I'm going to wear a hat and cover it up. And the third question of, why are you sitting on a treadmill at 5:30 in the morning? That's a great question, and all of us folks who work out in the morning ask ourselves that same question every morning. But here we are. I'm sitting on the tread. What better way to start a day in the life of a functional fitness PT than to get a workout in? What we're getting into this morning, we're going to do 10 down to 1 by 1s, 4 time. Hang squat cleans at 185, burpees over the bar, and shuttle runs.
A few moments later.
Okay. That's a lot worse than I thought it was going to be. I did not plan well for that. Well, like I said, that was a little bit more than I bargained for. I wasn't necessarily ready for that. But we got it done. It's finished. Workout's done. You always feel better once you get a workout in. My wife always says you never regret a workout. It's true. I'm gonna lay out the plan for today to take you into the life of what it's like to be a functional fitness PT. We have 2 locations in Birmingham for Vulcan Performance. We're gonna head out to our Inverness location first, and we're gonna go hang out with Dr. Chris and Dr. Lauren. Both of them are very functional fitness minded. They're gonna be treating clients with that mindset. So we're gonna go over there, and Chris is our go-to guy for dry needling. And we do dry needling in a very particular way because we think it meshes better with the body. And then Lauren is also our functional fitness pelvic health specialist. So she helps a lot of folks with the issues that accompany that. So we're gonna go hang out with them. And then after we go to our Inverness location, we're gonna drive across town and go to Vulcan Mountain Brook. And we're gonna hang out with Christian and Clay. We're gonna take you into the world of what it's like to be a PT, a physical therapist, and let you get a glimpse of that. I'm gonna spend about 5 more minutes on the bike to let my heart rate slowly come down instead of just stopping and then collapsing. Then I'm gonna spend some time in prayer, make a breakfast, and we will hit the road and head and see what everybody's up to. All right, see you in a second. So people are going to hate on my protein bowl Here, 35 grams of protein with a little bit of honey, lots of carbs. You need lots of carbs after your workout, and a few chocolate chips in there just to make life good. So hate all you want, but this is delicious. All right, guys, we're heading out to the Vulcan Inverness location, and I thought it'd be a good time to tell you a little bit about the tenets of what it is to be a physical therapist. And for this video, a functional fitness focused physical therapist. And a lot of what we're trying to do is we're trying to connect isolated movements to fully functional movements. So people come in with pain, with issues, with problems a lot. That's primarily what we're trying to do. We're trying to help them solve these problems, solve these issues so they can get back to doing what it is that they love to do. And that is the key component. We're actually trying to get them back to whatever it is that they want to do. Our phrase is enhance what moves you. So if someone comes in, I'll continue to use the shoulder as the issue. If someone comes in with a shoulder issue and they're maybe a CrossFitter, maybe they are a javelin thrower, whatever that may be, it's not good to simply have full range of motion. No, we've got to have full range of motion, strength, and the ability to make that shoulder do whatever the other shoulder is doing equally as well. So some of the tenets that we're going to do to achieve that is we have to take isolated movements. We may start isolated. We may start with focusing on getting the shoulder moving, getting some activation going, getting blood flow to the area. But as soon as we possibly can, we're going to move into functional movement, and we're going to start connecting those isolated movements to a fully functional movement. Like I've used the example of an overhead squat. You can talk about javelin. You can talk about whatever it is that's going on with the shoulder. You can connect the same thing to running. If someone has a foot injury or a knee injury and they're a runner and they're not able to run because of it, you can't sit there and just work on the foot or the knee and say, hey, in 6 weeks you're gonna be able to run again because we're doing these isolated movements to the foot. No, you've got to connect those movements to running itself and progressively overload them back into a running program. You can't start from zero and go right back into your sport. You've got to progressively overload. So we wrap all of that into what we do as functional fitness PTs. We're gonna go in here, we're gonna hang out with Chris and Lauren, as I said a minute ago. I think we'll be able to see what they do a little bit with some of the patients that they're working with, give you a better idea of what it is to be a physical therapist and do physical therapy the way we like to do it. Some other tenets of how we do functional fitness PT is we are entirely one-on-one. We see all of our clients in a one-on-one format, just the physical therapist and the patient or the client. We like to use the word client, not as much patient. Patient kind of invokes I'm laying in a hospital bed. Client's more of an active participant in the rehab. So we're one-on-one with our clients for an hour and sometimes longer. A lot of our pelvic health evaluations are actually 90 minutes long because so much goes into those if you're gonna do a thorough job. And we only have doctors of physical therapy in our practice at Vulcan Performance. As a PT, each time you do a treatment on someone, you're really doing another evaluation. And all of those are puzzle pieces that it takes to put it all together to get the client back to where they want to be. And those being involved in the treatment sessions heavily as a PT simply helps to do that. So that's some of the tenets that we do. I'll show you some of the tools later on today. We'll get into some blood flow restriction. If you've been following this channel, we talk about blood flow restriction a lot. It's an absolutely amazing tool. We'll be using that today. We'll probably see some people use it, and we'll show you some other tools we're gonna get into. But all right, let's do it. Guys, we're here with Dr. Chris Temples and Mr. Craig Kiefer. So Chris, what have you and Craig been up to this morning and what are you going into?
Well, this morning, Craig has been having some pain with his right elbow. So after our thorough evaluation, we've decided that he has some external rotation weakness for his right shoulder. So we've been doing some priming for that this morning with the dumbbells and then also here with some banded work. And so after we do all of this, once we have primed it, then we're going to get into some overhead action. He's had pain with jerks in the past, so we're going to actually be doing some jerks now that we've primed the muscles, and then we'll just see how that goes. Change it from there if we need to.
Now really punch it, that's when I feel the lockout.
Sweet, yeah. And that's kind of like with the other exercises that we're kind of working on, that's the whole reason with that is because there's a little bit of weakness, so it doesn't want to get that last half inch because it's not stable, it's not as strong in the position as your left side is.
Right.
So that's the whole reason for it.
We're here with Dr. Lauren Potter, and she is our pelvic health specialist. So Lauren, what is it that you look for from the pelvic health side as a functional fitness PT, a lot of these ladies, and then how does your programming look for them?
So a lot of I'm just looking at general strength, general function. So there's a really strong correlation from pelvic floor strength to hip strength. So if someone has a lot of weakness in their hips, that means we're likely to have a lot of pelvic floor dysfunction. So my treatment looks a whole lot like strengthening functionally, whether it is squatting, teaching people how to activate their abdominal muscles through functional movement patterns. That's more so what it looks like versus just laying on the table and trying to do Kegels. We get a lot better results when we teach those muscles how to activate with movement rather than just in isolation. Hello! So what we're doing for pelvic PT, we are working on strengthening our hips so that way we can get a co-contraction for pelvic floor muscles and work on building out their strength and endurance. So it's just one of the ways we'll go after pelvic floor muscles is really by isolating the hips. What we're working on is working into jumping movement patterns. So we're working on being able to improve the ability to do double unders without having any kind of stress incontinence. So today we're going to work on steady jump squats, just kind of building up into that.
Perfect. Does that sound good to you? All right, before we head over to the Mountain Brook location, I wanted to walk you guys through a little bit of dry needling and what we're doing here. So Chris, what are we doing right now?
Lauren has been having some lower back pain with some of her squatting and deadlifting. So what we're going after right now is we're going after those stabilizing muscles for those lumbar vertebrae, the multifidi. So we're just kind of coming in here, and then after we get a handful of needles here at each level, what we're going to do is we're going to then hook it up to some electrical stimulation, then let her sit on that for a few minutes. After we do that, we're going to go out into the workout area, and then we're going to kind of load up that spine, load up those glutes.
All right, guys, we are heading out from Inverness. We hung out with Chris and Lauren. You got to see a little bit of what Chris does, a little bit of what Lauren does. It's awesome. We're going to head over to our Mountain Brook location. Christian, he is our running guy, is prepping himself for an ultra marathon right now. And Clay prepping himself for an ultra triathlon, but he's more of our biking guy, so we'll ask him some questions about that. I'm glad you got to see a little bit of the pelvic health side that Lauren's doing from a functional fitness PT perspective, and a little bit of the dry needling that Chris does as well and how he uses it. We didn't get to see the functional aspect after dry needling, but he wanted me to reiterate that's highly important. You can't just needle, you need to do something afterward. Yep, we'll head to Mountain Brook and see what everybody's up to. All right, guys, we are here with Bo right now, and we are opening up our session with some blood flow restriction training. We have some other content videos on blood flow restriction training. I'll link to those in the description, but what we're trying to do, Bo's coming in for some knee issues and some shoulder issues. Really just flood it with blood and get better range of motion and strength through it, and BFR is going to tremendously help with that, and it has helped with that. It's helped a lot. He's come a long ways with his knees. Initially full squatting really hurt, and now we're able to full squat and we're building in weight with it. So we're gonna do some work today on the knees and with the shoulder, and BFR is an excellent way to start because it's gonna help us with the blood flow. It's also gonna give us a spike in really positive hormones like human growth hormone. It's something that Bo's working on right now. We're going through an Arnold press for the shoulders. And if you've never done an Arnold press, it's a great movement. Thank you, Schwarzenegger, for making this for us. But for a lot of folks like Bo who have something going on and they feel some nastiness on the front of the shoulder, what the Arnold press does is starts you in a position where the front of the shoulder is open. Whenever we go out, whenever we go into internal rotation, that tends to close the shoulder down the front and it causes more irritation and pain. So starting in an open position like this leaves us free to get overhead and press without that irritation at the beginning. So one of the tools we like to use being a movement mechanic, we have to know these things. And this is more the crux we're gonna get into for this session is we're actually working on that forward shin angle. We call it a positive shin angle. If you've seen the knees over toes guy, this is something that he talks about a lot. He actually preaches some really good stuff and we like to use it. So we're trying to work on Bo getting this knee forward a little bit and working on, and it's a hard movement. It's a tough movement. It's a Bulgarian split squat, dually loaded with dumbbells. But allowing that knee to come forward is gonna allow Bo to later on, as we progressively load into this, to be able to squat, to front squat, to jump without nearly as much pain as you need to. Bo does CrossFit, so we need to work Bo back into those functional movements that we're doing here. All right, guys, we're here with Dr. Christian Peters. Christian has a very special patient with him, a client, Georgia. Christian, what is going on in Georgia? What are you guys doing today, and where'd she come from?
So Georgia's been ill with radicular low back pain. Whenever she originally heard it, it's pretty bad, pretty severe. Today's actually the first day she's come in and she's at a 0 out of 10.
Let's go.
But today the big focus is we're going to do a lot of strengthening in neutral positions, working into some extension as well. which is her directional preference. She's about to do some bird dog rows right now.
And she's a CrossFitter, right?
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
She's going to CrossFit, powerlifting. She's an athlete.
Let's do it. What are we ending the session with today?
Today we're going to end with some anti-rotational deadlifts. I'm going to kind of get her a weird contraption.
Nice.
Get the heart rate up, biking, and then some overhead walking lunges.
Cool. Georgia, you ready?
Yeah.
Let's go. I love it. She's been waiting to hear the word deadlift for a while. Let's go. We're here with Dr. Clay Higginbotham. He is not only a CrossFit enthusiast, he is I think enthusiast is a weak word for what you do with biking, but Clay, tell us what you do as a functional fitness PT in the world of biking, cycling, mountain biking, all the above, and maybe a little bit goes into a bike fitting.
Yeah. So as a functional fitness physical therapist related to cycling, a lot of what I do is I look at how a rider is positioned on their bike using a stationary trainer like this. Back wheel pops off, hooks on here, you can ride in one place, and I can assess how you move. Common thing with cycling, because it's such a small range of motion, a lot of cyclists are missing those full ranges of exercise, creating weaknesses and imbalances, which can lead to pain on the bike. So as a functional fitness PT, we address those weaknesses. So James is coming in for a rotator cuff tear that's kind of secondary to some impingement he's having. So today's focus is really honing in on getting blood flow to the rotator cuff. Right now we're doing that through BFR, and then we'll work on correcting the rhythm of the scapula as he does his functional movements.
Guys, that is the day in the life of a functional fitness physical therapist. I'm Dr. Sean Hiller, and I wanted to walk you through what we do. And this is a little bit what we do. You got to see a great mix today from pelvic health, dry needling, to a little bit about our cycling. You got to see some of the clients that we work with. And this is what we do on a daily basis. This is how we function as a company. A lot of times clients come in with a particular issue somewhere localized on their body. We're going to attack that issue. We're going to go after it. And as soon as we can, want to connect that problem, connect our rehab to whatever it is that they want to get back to doing. We want to say what I've said at the beginning of the video, enhance what moves you, and get them back to running, lifting, whatever it is. And to do that, you have to progressively overload them correctly, not only from a strength, not only from a stability, a motor control standpoint, but from a function standpoint. You start off with smaller function and you end up with a lot larger function. That's what we do as PTs, and every PT aims to do this, to help people to get back to what they want to do. You saw a few of the tools that we love to use. You saw dry needling, you saw blood flow restriction, you saw electrical stimulation. Those are some of the tools we love to use. We use them quite a bit. You saw us get a workout in, and everybody in our clinic will work out at some point today, whether it be running, whether it be CrossFit, whatever it is. We're all nerds in strength conditioning. Hopefully physical therapists and your PTs, they are too, because at the end of the day, physical therapy is a branch of strength conditioning. So we've got to know both to be able to be an effective physical therapist. That's who we are. If you have not already, please like this video, subscribe to our channel, and ring the notification bell so you never miss out on an opportunity to enhance what moves you. Guys, I will see you next time on the Vulcan Blog.